Like, what is this? Organ donation? No, girl, this is intuition. Hello everyone, welcome to my new series on my YouTube channel. It is kind of like a podcast format, and it's called The Lion's Den because I might say some things that'll get me in trouble. Also, I'm a Leo, but today I just wanted to get into kind of like trusting your intuition. This is really just an outlet for me, so I stopped bothering my peers with all my yapping, so the people who care can consent to hearing me yap. So hopefully my loved ones appreciate that a little bit more. But here's my notebook where I have everything I want to yap about today. As someone that struggles kind of with, I don't want to say OCD just because I've never been diagnosed by a professional, because all of my therapists weren't psychologists or psychiatrists, so they couldn't really put a name to what I was experiencing, but they all said kind of the same thing, that it's what it sounded like. If that's not what it is, I still have obsessive and compulsive tendencies that are surrounded by anxiety and caused by anxiety ever since I was younger. Kind of just something I've always dealt with and only recently kind of put a name to for that kind of niche experience. And maybe it's not so niche, I don't know. But a huge thing for me has always been my intuition. I have a hard time trusting my intuition because I'm like, okay, is this paranoid anxiety or is this actually something I need to watch out for? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm driving and there's two different ways I could go home and I'm sitting at the stop sign, I'm like, okay, if I go straight, I'm gonna die. That's it for me. I'm getting in a wreck. Something bad's gonna happen. If I go left, maybe that won't happen. And I'll kind of like switch up on that. I saw a TikTok recently that said, do things that your intuition wants, you know? And I don't know if you guys have heard of intuitively eating. That's kind of just another thing I've been working on, because when you diet, it's like your body doesn't like still feel satisfied, because it's like, it feels like a chore, like something you have to do. So I kind of try to intuitively eat. I'm shocked there's not as much food anxiety around that, because Lord knows I have food anxiety too in a lot of different ways. But I've kind of just been doing things to calm my mind and saying to myself, okay, what does my intuition want to do? What does my subconscious want to do? And I know that's kind of contradicting because it sounds more like I'm putting more pressure on, like, is this my intuition or is this not? But I think it honestly helps more because I kind of just try to go with what my gut tells me to do, because I'm trying to train myself to be better in that way about that. I'm not really like a mindless thinker, I guess. How people can just go throughout their day and do normal tasks and not really think about it. For me, it's everything all the time. Every decision I make is affecting something that's already predetermined, so it's kind of like hard for me to make decisions, I guess. I just get really worked up and anxious about that. Oh my gosh, I had to change out of that sweatshirt. It is so hot in my room. Guys, July heat is no joke. Like, whew. This is my Killer Clowns from Outer Space cup. Anyway, returning back to my intuition. What intuitively do you want? Channel that, and what are you called to do? So, we already covered the what do you intuitively want, kind of just following your instinct. Like, if you're reaching for something and then you second guess it, just go for the simplest thing, you know? The simplest thing, I believe it's called Occam's razor. We talked about it in my economics class, but it's like the simplest answer is usually the best or the correct one. That ties in to my next point of going back to your childhood, because I know for me, I don't really see a 9-to-5 for myself. Kind of what I want to do is this. I want to build a community and help others. I want to do YouTube. I feel like that is so fucking cool. And modeling is kind of something I'm getting into. I just took my digitals, which I was like excited about, but also kind of humbled by, because I'm like, okay, I had to take my measurements and I was just like fucking humbled because I'm too hard on myself. But when I was younger, I always saw myself doing something like this. I try to fit into boxes, give myself like, oh, I want to be a doctor, or, you know, do some kind of fucking normal middle class job. And like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I just don't ever see myself being happy in a position like that. I think I'm finally taking steps towards what I always wanted to do when I was younger, and I think that is helping heal my inner child. So like, for example, when I was younger, I would make like fake YouTube videos in my room. I wanted to be like Cookie Swirl C. You guys probably fucking watched her growing up if you're around the same age as me. And I bought all these blind bags at like Kmart or something, and I spent like $60 of my own money, which was a lot for me at the time because I was like 10 or 11. And I came home and we have this like little nook in my room, and I cleared it out, and I was gonna like put a curtain up there and have this little like mini studio for my fucking YouTube career. Like I don't know, it's just always something I saw myself doing, and I was always like making musicallys in my room before it was TikTok. And even before that, even before, you know, had technology and the internet, I would perform, especially for my dad, because my dad was super into music, and I feel like anything I did, he wouldn't really judge me for. And I would just put on these like extravagant shows and like act like I was fucking Britney Spears and have like my sunglasses and my little hat on and like have these dance numbers and like, oh my god, like I was into it. And, you know, I would sing and dance, and I just think that was my passion, and it is my passion. I love music so much, and I want to get into that, and I'm not really sure what's stopping me. And every time I try to branch away from it, I know this sounds cheesy, but every time I try to branch away from it, and I'm like, no, Lily, you're gonna be normal and you're gonna do something achievable, which, what the fuck, anything's achievable. I'm gonna do something and I'm gonna put myself in a box. I'm gonna fit into a box. Every time I get roped back into it, dragged back into it, and I don't even want to say dragged. Like, I like it. Like, and it sounds like so fucking ridiculous. Guys, I will lay in my bed and I'll try to fall asleep at night. Sometimes I'm so tired and I have nothing to think about. Like, it's not even like anxiety's keeping me awake because I'm so tired. I don't even have the energy to think about that. And I'll just have this beat in my head, and I'll have lyrics in my head, and I'll have just all these ideas, like even for like YouTube, TikTok, modeling, everything I want. I'm like, I don't know. And sometimes I can't sleep and I have to get up, and I'm like, no, I'll remember it in the morning. It's fine. And I wake up and it's gone. I think I have a lot of ideas for music in my head that I'm not really sure how to bring to life. I have BandLab and GarageBand, but I don't really know how to use them. And also, I have a specific vibe that I want to go with. So it's like, I don't know how to do that. It's, like I said, it's always been something I've been brought back to. Like, everything is full circle with that. I don't know if that's my path, if that's my destiny, my predetermination, if you want to call it that. I don't even know if that's my free will and I'm going to end up doing that, but I really want to. Maybe it's the Leo in me, and I've just always dreamed of like being known and being famous, or the fact that I was neglected growing up, so I kind of just want that attention. It's just something that I always saw for myself. I've been so into music. Maybe that doesn't apply for everyone, of going back to what you wanted to do when you were a kid, because I've been struggling to figure my life out. But I'm gonna be 19 in like 2 weeks. I need to chill, but I also just feel like the clock is ticking, you know? Like, I'm seeing a lot of other people my age and even younger just living my dream, essentially. And I'm not saying the grass is greener on the other side, but they're accomplishing a lot of shit that I want to do. Like, I see people my age like fucking going on tour and like experiencing all these cool things and traveling, and I'm just like, damn, like I'm in my hometown that I grew up in. And I don't know, I kind of like that I didn't move growing up, and I kind of got to live in the same place. But like, I'm so ready for change. I'm so ready for change, and I'm somebody who hates change, especially when it's out of my control. When it's in my control, I'm chilling. But when things are changing around me, especially when we graduated, like that was hard for me because my friends were going to college and doing other things, and it just like seemed more advanced and adult than I felt, you know. And I'm like, I don't think I'm ready to do that. I really don't see myself going to school, but I felt like I was missing out. I have such bad FOMO, it is not even funny. Like, even if it's something I don't want to do, I feel like I'm missing out, and I'm like, oh, I need to do it. It's not even like, oh, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? Girl, I have FOMO. I don't know, maybe I would. I am my own person, but at the same time, when things are out of my control, my friends are meeting all these new people who I don't know, and I kind of feel left out and like lonely in a sense. Something I've been feeling a lot recently is kind of like the energy that I am putting out is not being reciprocated. It's hard because I don't know how to voice that to other people, and whenever I love people, I'm not expecting anything in return. I'm kind of just doing it because that's who I am, and I want to show love and affection. And sometimes, and I kind of had a breakthrough yesterday. I was talking to one of my good friends. I actually want to have her on the podcast. I want to have podcast. Girl, I don't even have a mic. This is a sidetrack of the sidetrack. The microphone that I ordered, I tried to get it from Target because it connects to my phone, and I don't have a real camera yet. So I go to the Target that is out of my way. I go to it's closer to my house, but it's like in the city, so I'm like scared because I'm never down there. I hate driving down there. They don't have it. It says it's in stock online. I order it from another location that is far out of my way. They short the item, and I'm like, what the hell? So I just ordered it. Hopefully it'll be here by Tuesday, but I did not want to wait to put this video off any longer. Anyway, Madison is super fucking cool. I think she'd be great on this little series just because her and I see eye to eye a lot. We have really good conversations. Like, I was at her house the other night and we were just talking. I was like, damn, write this down. Write this down. We need to get this on the podcast immediately, because I think we really dive deep into why we feel things. And yeah, I think we're Sigmund Freud split in half and reincarnated, truthfully. I had a breakthrough when I was talking to her about just like that energy not really given back to me. I was telling her, you know, when I do this, like, I'm not expecting anything in return, but it sucks when it's like super one-sided. And she was telling me, because I told her, I was like, sometimes I don't think it's real. I think I want to feel a certain way about a person because I'm attached to them. So I kind of just say all these things. Like, I'll write really nice like cards and like give them nice gifts and like every love language I can think of. But I'm like, do I feel that way, or am I just saying these things because I wish I felt that way? And that is so deep for me, at least. I don't know. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, I'm so deep, and like it's something everybody else already fucking figured out, or like nobody cares about. But she was telling me, like, I think it's hard for you to feel like the connection is real when it's connected on one side. Like, when you're pushing out the energy but it's not coming back to you, maybe it kind of feels fake because you're like, am I really feeling this way, or am I in La La Land? Because when you're not getting that energy from the other end, it's like, maybe we aren't as close as I thought we were, or maybe like you don't care about me as much as I thought you did, and maybe I'm kind of just craving that attention and affection and love, connection. That rhymed. Ew. Sometimes I just want to feel that way, and that's like so fucked up. Like, I've bad, like, anybody who's watching this and I've like written like sweet things about them or like done amazing things for them, like, I don't want them thinking like that I don't actually care. But like, sometimes I feel like a sociopath where I'm like faking everything. Like, this just feels like one big fucking Truman show. This got far off. I'm trying to go back to the intuition. I'm trying to make it full circle, guys. I'm really just trying to find my people and, you know, connect, because I feel like some of the people in my life don't. I mean, obviously I feel that way because they don't relate to that. So I wouldn't be sitting here with my phone up in my bedroom, like recording myself, like talking about how I don't feel fucking loved or cared about. Also, in honor of this series being called The Lion's Den, someone was telling me that I feel this way because I'm a Leo and I have so much loyalty, and I just need to accept the fact that not everyone's going to show love the same way I do, or people aren't going to feel the same way that I do. And I say, fuck that. How about I find people that actually care about me back and want to show that as well. Because I know people have different love languages. I get it. But it is so hard when it seems like they don't have one at all. Let's take me and my sister, for example, which this is not a problem with us because I love her dearly, love both of them dearly, love all of my siblings dearly. Imagine if I was just like always vocalizing to my sister, like, you're so amazing, I love you so much, you're the best sister ever. And she doesn't really say things like that, but she's constantly like, I don't know, like making me little gifts or like, you know, giving me hugs and stuff like that. And then it's like, okay, well, that's still reciprocated energy. Guys, when you are constantly putting energy into something and there's just nothing, there's radio silence on the other end, it is so exhausting. It is not even like, I'm thinking of a couple connections particularly that I don't really want to kind of like put on blast here. Because at the end of the day, this is the internet and I do have a digital footprint. I am kind of at dead end. Like I'm like, where do I go from here? Like, do I say something about it, or am I just kind of like the needy weird friend who, like, they're like the crazy girlfriend? And I don't want to be like that, and I'm afraid to vocalize some of the shit going on in my life because I don't want to be made out as that. I also don't want to be made out as the victim because I'm certainly not. We all have our flaws, but I don't, like, what the fuck am I gonna say? I'm just gonna be like, oh, I don't feel loved and appreciated, I don't feel cared about. What the fuck is that? What is that gonna do? What is that gonna do for my situation? While we're on the topic of connections, if you don't feel that a connection is serving you, that's another thing. That's your intuition. That's, you need to leave. And there's just things going on right now, and there's things that have gone on in the past where I am so hung up on relationships, not like necessarily romantic ones, but just in general, whether that's friends, family, or romantic relationships, just everything, where I am so like, and this is something that I don't even know, I might have to cut this out because I might be getting too deep into it. I've been feeling this way for a while, but I kind of put it into words. It's hard for me to articulate things sometimes. I know it might not seem like it because I do talk a lot. I saw something the other day. It was about Twilight. If you don't like Twilight, you won't get it. But basically people were saying like Bella never loved Edward. She was just addicted to him. And that's kind of how I'm feeling right now when they were describing it. And they were like, the way she acted when he left her was not normal. Like, it was like someone who was going through withdrawal than it was love. It wasn't healthy. And I'm kind of starting to feel like that. I don't know how to let go because when I let go before, I did not feel like a person. I was having nightmares about this all the time, constantly. And it literally felt like I was never going to heal from it. I kind of just felt like, what am I without this? And I feel like that's so wrong for a person to define you. I always said I would never be like that. I always said I would find happiness outside of connections and kind of do my own thing, which is partially true. But I wonder if it's something where it's like I'm bringing out the better in other people in my head and I'm putting them on a pedestal. Like, not like I'm truly bringing out the better in them, but my brain is seeing it as that. And it's traits of myself that I'm trying to see in them, and it's really just like a self-love thing. So when they leave or I leave them, it feels like a piece of me has been ripped from me and it's missing. And I don't know if that makes sense. It just kind of feels like I'm making them someone they're not, but in a good way. But it's just traits of myself that I'm shining a spotlight on. And someone was talking about this, I think it was the Wizard Liz or something, because everyone's been talking about her. It's terrible. But she was saying, like, when you're with a man, you know, you're shedding light on them and the things that you like about them. When this is whenever they're terrible men and you're not seeing it. Not when it's a genuinely good man who will be there in every way you need him to. More so just men that you are glamorizing because it is something that you see in yourself that you are choosing to see in them. And I don't want to even say it. I did again, tell Madison this the other day, like, I feel like it's something I'm addicted to. It should never be something that you need. A connection or love or whatever should never ever be something you feel that you need. It should just be something that you want and you wake up and you choose every single day. I think it starts to get really toxic when it becomes like a needed thing, and I think that does circle back around to the whole addiction thing. And again, since I am that like obsessive compulsive, I feel like one of those people who has like a favorite person, and then it's like, and like by no means I don't have BPD, I'm just using this as an example. They'll kind of cling to one person, and when something triggers them or upsets them, it's just like all hell breaks loose. And I heard someone with BPD talking about this recently, that's why I'm bringing it up. I related to her more than I thought I was going to when she was talking about having a favorite person and them triggering you, whether that's on purpose or not, and just like flipping a complete switch. And obviously it's not that intense for me. I won't ever understand how that feels, but to some extent I kind of get what she means. I will feel so angry at the opposing person, and they don't even like know that all of this shit is going on, because it's like such a mental battle where I'm like, should I stay or should I go? What, like, is this healthy? Is this toxic? It's very hard to tell, very hard to navigate. Guys, I moved my light over. Am I mogging? I don't know if this is better or worse. Yeah, see guys, I need to just trust my intuition. I need to just leave it alone. Occam's razor. I don't even think that applies here, but the way I interpreted it was as such, so we will listen to it. We will, and Lily, we trust. I don't even know why I fucking have notes, because we've got through 2 of these, and I've been yapping for 25 minutes. Dang. Hopefully I'm not getting too deep into your mind. I don't know when you're gonna listen to this or watch this, but I hope it's not ruining your day, because it was low-key ruining mine whenever we were talking about it the other day on the phone, because I was like, damn, now I just have to go back to work, and it's like eating me alive. Oh, I wanted to talk about this, the bodily rejection. Okay. Crazy, fucking insane. Like, what is this, organ donation? No, girl, this is intuition. When it comes to trusting your gut, I have noticed that when something is wrong, I'm physically sick. There was this guy that I liked. I'm not gonna say any more than that. No, I'm not saying what grade, what year, nothing. There was a guy I liked at school. Listen, maybe I will speak on this more another time. Probably not, because I'm still so fucking embarrassed about it. I swore he was like perfect. I was like, yes, I heart this man, boy, dude at this point, because girls 16, 17 years old. I already said too much. Anyway, I put him on a pedestal, and I was seeing things in myself. I like created this whole image of this fucker, of what I wanted him to be, and I had to see him every day. I created this version of him that had no flaws, and no flaws that were too big for me, that I like wasn't a deal breaker, you know? And I think that could have really worked out if I didn't do that. Again, back with the obsessive compulsive intrusive crap that I deal with. That could have been, well, I shouldn't even say that, because obviously things happen for a reason. The thing was, every time I saw him, I was sick. You guys, I was throwing up. I can't make this up. I would sit in class before I had to go see said person, and I sat in the front of the room for the class before I had to see him, and I was trying to chew my gum one day. I was covering my mouth like this and gagging because I was so nervous about this. And then I was like chewing my gum because I grind my teeth, and also I was just like, okay, like calm, zen Lily, we're gonna chill, we're gonna be cool, girl. We probably won't even talk to him, so it's fine. Guys, I was gagging. I couldn't even drink water. I was gagging. I would beg my mom to pick me up every day. This was so insane. I remember what outfit I had on. This very specific day, I had on my brown cargo pants and my pink little like button-up top, right? I couldn't drive yet. I call my mom, Or I went to the nurse or something. I like call my mom and I'm like, Mom, please come pick me up. Mommy, please pick me up. And she's like, what the hell is going on with you? And I'm like, my anxiety's so bad. I'm gagging. I can't sit in class. I'm about to faint. Please, please, please. Honestly, she was very useful to me this day. She was like an angel sent from heaven. It was her first week at her new job, okay? She picked me up. And she was like kind of upset with me because like the school was giving her a hard time about me leaving. This is a complete sidetrack. I don't know why the hell I'm getting into this lore. I literally said like, oh, I'm not gonna say too much. Look at me now. She takes me home and I immediately like throw my book bag down and I'm like wailing on my bedroom floor, crying, screaming, throwing up, sliding down the wall, literally. My dog comes upstairs and she's like, because she hears me screaming. I'm surprised we didn't get a noise complaint. I'm surprised my neighbors weren't like, yo, someone get this girl to a psych ward immediately. And my dog is scratching at my room door because she's like, why are you in panic mode? Little did she know, little did anybody know, because I wouldn't tell a soul. Guys, I wouldn't talk about this in therapy. It was over some dumbass dude. Some dumbass Dusty. No, that was foul. But listen, the point is, sometimes your body will reject a person or a something because it's not meant for you. It's not right for you. And while this could be anxiety, I feel like a lot of it was like my body was rejecting him. Like every time I was around him, if I would sense him around, I would be sick. It wasn't even like, sometimes I wouldn't be thinking I was going to see him, but I started getting this like heart pounding anxiety. Then I would see him. It was like my body knew before I even did. And it felt like the farther away I got from him, the better I felt, or around him, or like if I had to be somewhere where he was. If I drove further away from the situation, it was like a weight was lifted off my chest. It was the strangest thing ever. I felt so much better as soon as, like if he was at school and I went home, whew, dodged a bullet. If he was XYZ, I bumped into him at the store. If I drove to my grandma's house, whew, dodged a bullet. Like I'm fine. I'm perfect. I'm golden. I've also heard girls say that they will get UTIs from their boyfriend, which could be a plethora of reasons, but it won't happen with like other guys, and they are like, other things will kind of build up to that and other things will happen. They'll be like, yeah, my body was rejecting him. And I truly do think that's intuition. It is, again, predetermined. Honestly, I should call this episode predetermined instead of intuition. I think it is like a predetermined sentence of intuition where they're like, girl, you gotta go. You gotta get out of here. Basically, listen to your body. If you haven't heard of it or you want to know more about it, because I suck at explaining things, go on TikTok and type in bodily, probably not bodily rejection. That just sounds kind of sus. Maybe type in like intuition, body rejecting situation, or like stories about people's bodies rejecting someone. It is so interesting. My last point I wanted to make was that whatever you believe in, God, a higher power, whatever you want to call it, or just in general, even if you just believe in yourself, because I'm right here, you know, I know I exist. I am not a religious person, I don't think. I'm still learning myself. I'm only 18 going on 19, so there's still a lot I have to grow into and change and figure out about myself, but I am very spiritual, as you can tell. I believe in intuition, all that shit. Crystals, I have a bunch of crystals up on that shelf up there that you cannot see, unfortunately. I truly believe that you wouldn't have a thought in your head, a dream in your head that wasn't achievable. And I don't think, if you even want to go to a religious or a spiritual aspect, I don't mean to scare you off by saying that. Don't click away, because I'm not going to sit here and like tell you this is what I believe and you need to believe it too, because I am not about that shit at all. I kind of hate that, like force-fed, this is my belief so it must be yours too. I truly don't believe a higher power or God would put a thought in your head that was just not achievable. And also, like, everything you think isn't true. So if you're saying I can never do this, I can never whatever, I definitely think even if it's something that you don't end up doing, even if it goes to more simple things like I don't know, like having a crush on someone being like, oh well, I can't have this person because XYZ. Even if you don't end up with that person, it's a learning experience for you. Same thing with that situation I was just talking about with that thing from my school. I did not end up with said person. Who knows? Everything happens for a reason. I do think it was still a massive part of my life, and I did learn a lot about myself from it, and I just learned a lot of things. I know it sounds like corny. I keep saying that, but like I know it sounds corny. It's just I learned a lot about the world, honestly. I learned a lot about myself. Red flags to look out for. I really do think anything's achievable. That's why I'm sitting in front of my phone trying to find my connections and people who relate to me. I'm trying to build my audience and have a platform. But honestly, at the end of the day, we're on a floating rock, and I think you should do whatever you want, whatever your intuition tells you, right? Fuck it, you want to go get Chick-fil-A for dinner like I did? Go get Chick-fil-A for dinner. You want to go and, guys, I can't even say it because I'm not like this, but if you want to go ask someone out on a date, go do it, you know? I don't play. My friend's boyfriend was telling me, because I was telling him about the situation because it came up, and I was like, yeah, dude, like, this was crazy. This was ridiculous of me to be feeling such a way about a fucking teenage boy, like, gross. He told me, he was like, dude, that literally, like, this fucked me up. He was like, that could have been, like, your future husband, and you were out here, like, all obliterated over, like, what? I don't even know. I don't even think it was what he thought of me. And, like, kind of looking back on it, I was like, I feel like, I'm not saying he liked me like that, but I'm like, low-key, he might have, because I'm very good on picking up on signals. I always know when someone likes me, dude. Like, I don't think people are ever slick unless it's someone I like. Then I'm like, no, this can't be. This is not happening to me. And I think I'm honestly more scared of what would come of it. Basically, he told me, he was like, you need to get over your fear because, like, you're playing with your future right now. Like, this could be your future man's, and you're just over here freaking sick over it. And for what? I kept getting signs about things, and I feel like I still do. And that's the thing that sucks, is it's been a while. Like, it truly has. I feel like I'm over it, but, like, not fully, because it was a massive part of my life, truly. Again, I think I do that thing where I put people on a pedestal, and it's traits of myself that I push onto them, and then when they leave, it's like that piece of me went with them. And so I think I'm trying to, like, rebuild that for myself. My tea is cold because I've been talking so much. Damn it. So basically, the point of my video, the point of my little book, was that nothing is unachievable, and you can do whatever you want because we're on a floating rock in the middle of space. That is going to conclude episode 1 of The Lion's Den. And hopefully this time I didn't say anything that got me in trouble, because we're kind of too early on into the series for me to be throwing shit around. Just you wait. Just you wait. Hopefully this reaches the right people, because I want to find people who feel the same about me and let them know, like, you're not alone and you don't have to feel like shit, because there are other people who are going to care about you back. So don't you worry, mama. Don't you worry. Everything's going to be fine. We're on a floating space rock. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.